are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Sport. Once again, it is the Tony and Barnes Show. But before we get to Tony, let's go Yankees. Let's go. We know we got to just talk about it right away. Let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. The back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Sayonara. Where did that land?
Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins it, fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
Speaking of 9 years, $360 million, more than likely your next captain of the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge, re-ups with your New York Yankees. What a day, what a life, Tony. And this is after we had to deal with last night, the infamous John Heyman report saying that he was headed to the San Francisco Giants. Who knows what the deal with that was? It's very possible that might have been put out there by Judge's camp to apply some more pressure on the Yankees. But it definitely, for diehard Yankee fans like me, like Matt, definitely, had us on a whirlwind. I was telling you before the show, we felt like it was more nerve-wracking than a playoff game for the Yankees, because we know Aaron Judge is the face of the franchise. I said this for the last couple of years here in this seat, him being my favorite player of all time. There was nowhere to pivot, no other option. And it's just nice too, because obviously, we know how me and Matt and the rest of the Yankee faithful feel about Hal Steinbrenner, about Brian Cashman. But at the end of the day, they step up in a way that they haven't stepped up since they signed Garrett Cole back in 2019. And 100%, there was no other way to go. The water jugs are full, Tony. They are full. And it just feels so good. And you talk about a free agency process, a walk year situation. There was no better way to handle it than the way Aaron Judge did. Obviously the Yankees offered him $213 million before the season, and he signs for $360 million. So he makes $147 million on an MVP record-breaking season. And throughout this whole process too, there was not any mention really out of him at all about the Yankees. And it almost seemed more likely than not that he was leaving if you were going by the way he was talking. But I think that was all part of leverage, because he knew the Yankees valued him more than any player in franchise history, as he has the highest contract in Yankee history. And we do have some comments, Tony. If you would as well as some comments from yourself, I'd like to hear. But let's start with these comments.
Oh, yeah. No, start with other people's comments. Matthew, pretty hyped, dude. The let's go. He says, Tony, look at you. And even our own Brian Barnaby, I'm not sure who that is, says, Tony, where are you? Heyman, get fired. We'll talk about that in a second. Matthew Gabriel, hype. Brian, prefer coming in, all rise. Here comes the Judge. Giants fans' hopes and dreams just got burnt by arson Judge. Matthew thinks Hal stepped up finally, like his father. And then Heyman, he also thinks Heyman should be arrested for premeditated murder because I almost passed away when he sent out that tweet. Ha, 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 ha. I told you.
All valid points.
All very valid points. As Renee also comes in and says, hey, yo, I don't know if she's aware of the news.
Oh, she's aware, Renee.
Is she?
She is aware. Aaron Judge, the best baseball player that has ever donned the Yankee pitcher. Right? Everybody, talent-wise, Tony, talent-wise. But finally, I know I've just talked. Everyone else
No,
has
yeah, you love
talked.
talking, dude.
But let's hear from you, Tony. Let's hear from you. I can't wait to hear this.
What do you mean, dude?
No, I don't know what you're going to say. That's why I'm interested.
Well, no, I mean, obviously, I think at this point, this executive is the signing that the Yankees really needed. Like you said, Brian, there was no backup plan. Hal said it, that there isn't a plan B or a plan C. And it's funny because, I think people made fun of him for that, around the media world. And, it's like in reality, there really is not, like, there's no replacement for Aaron Judge, like, to use the Mets as an example, like DeGrom went to Texas. They picked up Justin Verlander. That is a very reasonable, substitution for Jacob DeGrom. There is none for Aaron Judge. So there is no plan B for Aaron Judge. It would just be dealing with it is really what it was. But, they do get that big signing here. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, dude. I was extremely skeptical. I mean, the Heyman tweet, I kind of thought it was for real.
Judge's camp.
Judge's camp, dude. The quotes from his girlfriend from high school, his now wife,
The
obviously. The video, dude.
Oh,
he's down in Tampa. What's he doing in Tampa?
Well, Tampa,
I know the facilities down there.
Yeah, with Hal.
Anyway, but hey, listen, the Yankees have to get out there. They certainly, seemingly, it seemed like they were kind of, making wrong decisions at every corner here with Aaron Judge, obviously having more than enough opportunity to sign him, not even to get to this point of free agency. And then now at this point, that they lay a kind of low ball-ish offer on the table at first, which is basically what he wanted at the beginning of the season. But obviously everyone knows he's worth way more than that now. And then you see him visiting other teams. Again, it seems like, his chances of coming back to the Yankees, in my opinion, were kind of 50-50. But obviously, they kind of buck up here. They match offers. They exceed other offers, and they get him, which is, I mean, I think it's huge. Like we were saying, there was no plan B for him. There was no plan B for the Yankees. There was no other replacement that can kind of fill his shoes. So, I mean, this was something that the Yankees really needed to do. Especially with, free agency, seemingly flying by here as players are getting picked up left and right by different teams. I think it was, extremely pivotal for the Yankees to kind of sign him now, move on, move forward. How do we improve the team now? And of course, obviously everyone's happy that, Judge is going to be a career Yankee. He's going to, end his career here with in New York. So great get for them. I think it's super impressive they pulled it off. I do think, honestly, like you were saying with Heyman's tweet, I think that was, on purpose.
Yeah, because I heard we had heard some reports. Oh, maybe they offered him 8 years shy of $300 million. Like that was going to get the job done,
dude. Yeah.
So I'm sure some late pressure was applied, and you really got to give it to him because I do feel like really all along this was the plan, and it was all a leverage situation. Aaron Judge is the Yankees. He's built to be a Yankee, and I know he's going to be the next Yankee captain. So what a great day it is. I believe we do have some more comments.
We do. Renee, I'll start with Renee. She goes, "Oh, I am aware." And then she says, "Happy for you, Barnes."
Appreciate it, Renee.
Yeah.
We know you're a big Yankee fan.
Matthew says, "Judge had the plan all along. Made it seem like he was tight, but wanted to be in New York all along." I mean, I think so. I mean, obviously, Judge wants to get paid. How much he's worth. He wants his due.
His one contract of his career.
For sure. Jay Luberto says, "Sportsport brings a smile to my face every time."
That's why Jay's the best.
Jay is the best. But first says, "Judge squeezed Cashman like a lemon."
But it's like, is he really squeezing? I mean, come on. There are reports too that some teams basically the Padres, because I think the Giants did offer the 360, had offered even more money. So it's like when you come off 62 home runs, I mean, come on, anybody's gonna take you.
Not to mention, exactly. And not to mention, it's like that's the whole point of free agency. There's competition. Right. You're gonna overpay for players because there is that competition in free agency. So yeah,
absolutely.
Matthew also says he just wanted.
It's true. It's true. And I really hope to.
Is it true the Padres offered him more than 360?
That's what they were saying on WFAN when I was listening on my way in. And I think though too that, some people saw this as a negative, like, okay, so, you're going to spend 360 on Judge. So that means that completely takes you out of the conversation for other free agents. And we did see too, that they did sign Tommy Kahnle. So he returns to New York after a few-year hiatus, 2-year, I believe, $11.5 million. But really, I think it's a blessing in disguise in terms of just salaries, just because I think it really makes them focus on, first of all, really doing their best job to trade dead weight, to trade Donaldson or Hicks, and also rely on the younger guys, because I think that is what is going to get the Yankees to the next level. And we saw the Astros do this last year with Jeremy Pena. They're hoping for a similar, impact from both, or either one of, Volpe or Peraza, obviously, ideally both. So I think it's a good thing in the long run. And I really just can't wait to see what they do next. If I had to say anybody making significant money, I would imagine at this point that is kind of out the window, other than there are some reports about Carlos Rodon.
I think he's going to make good money.
No, I'm meaning like that they would maybe pony up for him. And especially if they can move some money around, that will let them, pick up some other guys. Brian Reynolds has been discussed. But the thing is, Tony, I understand he's a good player. But I don't want to give up Peraza or Volpe for Brian Reynolds. He's not that good. Let's just sign Benintendi if we even need to do that. I do think Oswaldo Cabrera could handle left field if needed. And then a couple more comments, if you would, Tony.
Yes. Matthew, Judge born to be a Yankee. Yeah. Michael Thiefel, how happy are you, Bards?
Elated, Michael.
Elated.
Knew it all along, by the way. You guys tried to say, what if, and me and Matthew, so we know we all remember this, said no, there is no other situation. But just wanted to put that in there.
I don't know, man. Going. You should have seen Matthew last night after the Heyman tweet, dude. He was...
Have a diner.
Yeah, dude. He was looking a little ghostly, dude.
As was I.
But first says, make a baby come back soundbite for Judge resigning. He wants you to sing.
No, I'm not singing today.
Dude, not even for Judge.
We are elated, of course.
Not that elated.
I'd like to give also a special shout out to my dad. I sent him the link before the show. He wanted to hear what we had to say about Judge, so we know he's tuning in. And
that's nice.
Me and him with the Yankees go way back. I always tell people my first memory of watching the Yankees on TV and live at the stadium was that 1998 season, and I just remember us watching the Yankees against the Padres. David Wells on the mound wearing George Herman, Babe Ruth's hat that he won in an auction. So we definitely remember that. Scott Brocious playing third base.
All right,
good old days.
Mickey Mantle. I remember going to the stadium.
I do not remember Mickey Mantle. I'll tell you that much. But first should call in and sing. That would be a good one.
That would be a good one.
Sure. But yes, so obviously this is the big domino to fall, and I think we'll see a flurry of moves follow this. And I was texting a couple of my other friends that are Yankee fans earlier, and I've mentioned this to you, and it's kind of like being a dead horse, but let's trade Gleyber to Seattle. And I don't, if they're not going to give us a good pitcher, then let's just get prospects. You know what I mean? I just would really like to do that, because then it really opens up the playing time for Volpe, for Peraza, obviously have LeMahieu, Donaldson. We can move some pieces around. Hopefully we can trade Donaldson. Obviously that doesn't look likely, but I just think Gleyber too, because right now the value is pretty good. But if he goes out the first couple of months and hits 200 with no power, then we're back to where we were before last season started. So let's get something for Gleyber while we can. I think that is a huge deal. I don't think they're going to do it, but I would like to trade Severino as well, or put him in the bullpen, because I think he could make a big impact. And I did mention it already, but I definitely do like that Tommy Kahnle signing. And I know he hasn't pitched that much over the past 3 years, but just from a clubhouse perspective, I think a lot of the guys in that clubhouse really like him. He of course was part of that 2017 group, came over with Tom's Rivers own Todd Frazier. What do you think of the Kahnle signing, Tony? I mean, no risk, 2 years, $11.5 million. I mean, good. No?
I mean, yeah, very limited risk. Like, I would say, why not? Right? Love it.
So we'll keep an eye out for what the next moves for them. And just speaking of Yankees, Jameson Taillon officially no longer a New York Yankee. 4 years, $68 million with the Chicago Cubs. And obviously the Cubs are at a tough spot, right now, just in terms of talent, a future. And pitching. I think pitching was, they were at need of that last year. And if you look at what Taillon did last year for the Yankees, 14-5, obviously that's a good win-loss, 3.91 ERA under 4, striking out 151, 171 in the third inning. So not a power pitcher, but did eat up a considerable amount of innings for the Yankees. But as far as they are concerned, I think it's a good move not investing that type of money in Taillon. We were talking about it before the show. I just feel like that's a bad contract within 2 years. And also, even if he does repeat what he did last year, we saw him start in the postseason. There's no confidence there.
Right.
I don't think he could be a postseason pitcher. So really, it's kind of a desperation move from the Cubs. And that's why he didn't go to the Dodgers, to the Mets, because those teams didn't want to pay him that type of money, knowing that most likely come playoff time, he's a fringe playoff starter. So I just think that's why he ended up with the Cubs. What are your thoughts about Taillon? Do you think there's any chance for any type of improvement on what he did last year? And is this a good move for the Cubs?
Honestly, I mean, I guess for the Cubs, you mentioned, tough spot. They really need a pitcher. Jameson here is, I think, more than adequate to be playing over there in Chicago. And I think that honestly, the change of scenery, I think being out of New York would be good for him. I think he will succeed, honestly, for Chicago.
Yeah, I think he's going to be facing weaker lineups in the NL Central. So I think
less pressure on him in general as well.
What are your thoughts about Cody Bellinger making his way to the Windy City? 1 year, $17.5 million.
Honestly, absolutely love it.
Really?
1 year deal. Like, why not take the shot on Cody Bellinger? You never know. I understand, he's been
looked horrible. Is it 3 years now?
Yeah, at least. And but this guy, again, like I feel like 4 years ago, he's in the MVP race.
He's only 27.
Exactly. He's not really that old. He still is a great outfielder. I mean, I feel like he has had some great catches last season. He's still quick. He's still pretty young. So I mean, obviously the struggle at the plate has been just absolutely horrific and consistently horrific for him. But I think change of scenery, and again, 1 year deal. I mean, why not? It's 1 year. Try it out, see what happens.
And if you look at the numbers, his first 3 years of his career, 39 home runs, 25 home runs, 47 home runs in an MVP season back in 2019. And that was followed up by 3 horrendous years of 239, 12 home runs, 165 back in 2021 and 95 games for 10 home runs. And last year, 210, 19 home runs, 68 RBIs. I think the Cubs are desperate for a bopper in their lineup. And the way you have to look at this too, let's just say, with the coaching staff, with his teammates, a new environment, obviously playing on the Dodgers his whole career, he goes to Chicago. If they find something there, and even this year too, you look at it, first half of the season, he plays great, but they're not doing well, then they could get a pretty good return for him at the deadline. Or if he's playing that well and they want to keep him, then he can be there long term. He's 27. So I think it's a good risk to take. I definitely would have liked to see him playing for a team that's expected to contend. But I'm sure that had something to do with dollars and cents, because otherwise I'm sure, a big market would probably excite him, as well. One move, and it's funny, it kind of feels like it preluded Judge, not going to the Giants and re-signing with the Yankees, is the San Francisco Giants signed Mitch Haniger, so the former Seattle Mariner, 3 years, $43.5 million deal. And I'm just not seeing it with Haniger. That seems like just sometimes, you see these contracts right off the bat and you just know, that's not going to be a good one. And you just feel that with Haniger. So he's 31 years old. Last year, he only hit 246, 11 home runs, 34 RBIs. I know he only played 57 games. And of course, 2021, 39 home runs, 100 RBIs. But if you look at the rest of his career, he's been an average, maybe slightly above average replacement player. So to give him a 3-year contract at 31 years old, it almost makes me say that's why the Giants have been the Giants the last couple of years. We've seen them be atrocious offensively. We know they had the banner year 2 years ago. How you doing? You guys love that. With them, but I don't know. And I'm curious, as far as what you're thinking, Tony, with Haniger. I almost honestly forgot he was even playing, and I think that's because of the weak season he had. But a little bit of a ripoff for the Giants at $43.5 million over 3 years.
Yeah, I think so, dude.
31 years old.
Honestly, I heard some people murmuring how they kind of wanted the Mets to get him. And I was just thought that's so stupid. Why would you want that? I mean, again, 31 years old. Yeah, swindled. And again, I mean, I was looking at his last season was not that great at all.
No, I mean the 39 was great, but I said, it looks like an albatross compared to the other years.
No bueno.
And the Phillies opening up the checkbook once again.
Oh my God.
4 years, $72 million to Tawan Walker, obviously the former New York Met. Not to mention the Diamondbacks and the Mariners as well. But this is a guy who's had great first halves the last couple of years and completely imploded down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't trust him in the postseason.
Totally right.
They saw this within their division. I don't understand the logic in giving Walker $72 million. You've already invested $300 million in Trey Turner. So to open up the checkbook again, Walker's 30 years old, too. So it's like, are you really expecting him to improve that much? And I know, you look at it just from a numbers perspective, 3.49 ERA with the Mets last year. Yeah, that's not bad, but is it worth that type of money?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I suppose you look at him again, he hasn't second half of the season has been so bad. The guy needs to be in better shape. He pitched 157 and 1/3 innings for the Mets last season. I would imagine, I guess he's like a solid 4 or 3 starter, I suppose. I mean, again, when you think about, the Phillies rotation and Zach Wheeler, obviously, apparently it really, they love getting former Mets here. So, I don't know. I think it'll be good for the Phillies, I guess. I couldn't imagine signing Walker to this deal as like a Met fan, honestly.
Like how pissed would you be?
I would be kind of tight, dude, because the guy does not show any longevity in the season. Not to mention, there was games in big spots where, he couldn't get out of the 3rd inning.
Right.
So it's like, what are we doing? And again, Twitter's is a wonderful thing. Because people were commenting how ridiculous it is that the Mets didn't get Walker and how he was like a great guy to eat up innings and everything.
What?
But it's like, what are you looking at, dude? Like, yeah, he's a big dude. He starts out the season great. He's got some great bite on his off-speed pitches here.
Is that a bite?
And he's got, I guess, a decent fastball, but I mean, down the stretch, he's worth nothing, dude. Like, I'd rather pursue Bassett, obviously.
Right. And the thing is, and you would acknowledge this too, as much as you like Bassett over Walker, the whole thing is, it's like you still don't have the utmost confidence come playoff time that he's going to have a dominant start. That's why these pitching contests are so tricky. And it's almost like I would rather just pay premium for top of the market or just have prospects in very low money contracts, mid-level contracts. Very often, like, guys are what they are. It doesn't need to be that complicated. You're not going to get a bargain. It's not like Tawan Walker's going to win the Cy Young next year.
Yeah, no, exactly. As Matt asked if I'm a little tight about the Phillies getting a few pieces. Honestly, I am pretty tight. Obviously, it's the Phillies. They're in our division here. They were a team last season that we kind of had their numbers for the most part. Obviously, they make the push after they got Thompson in there, and Bryce Harper comes back for the playoffs and everything. But I mean, look, we really aren't in a better spot we were in last season right now. It kind of sucks because we had to deal with losing DeGrom and then filling that hole. And then now we're kind of in the same position where, all right, well, we need to improve our rotation. We still need to improve our bullpen, and we need a big bat. Not to mention, our outfielders are a big question mark. So, I mean, the Mets have a lot of work to do. And it seems like in that time of the Mets dealing with the DeGrom contract and everything, that, the Phillies just made some huge moves. They have an incredible lineup. They did, add to their rotation with Walker, and we'll see how he performs. So yeah, I'm a little tight.
But I mean, we know there's a lot of people still out there, so the Mets can make some moves.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're hearing, just in terms of Mets, adding anybody else?
That Japanese pitcher whose name is Senga. Is it?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. It seems like I believe he met with Buck a few days ago. It seemed like they talk. Buck said he really enjoyed their talk. He said that he would enjoy to have him, and Senga said that he's looking to go to a team who's looking to win and in the position to win like right now. So, I mean, I think that'd be a huge get to improve our rotation. And then I think at that point, you have him, you have Bassett, and then McGill. Maybe you can kind of hold it down in terms of the rotation, and then move on and hopefully get a better bat. No, yeah. Brian, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there, Brian? What do you got going on?
It's we'll talk about it later, Tony.
My
we will talk about it. We'll have some time.
Matthew says, yeah, he's like 29 or something. The outfielder Tony Nimmo is still on the table apparently for them.
$120 million, 5 years. Would you do it right now?
No.
So
as well as Conforto. What did you say? 5 years, $120
million. So I mean, what's your ideal contract? I mean, it seems crazy, but at this point, on the open market, everyone's telling you some teams will give him $100 million, but I don't think you want to give him $100 million.
I kind of don't, dude. But that's so stupid. I mean, I guess if push comes to shove, if we have to, I guess you kind of have to. But I mean, that sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Caber says, the pitcher, he's like 29 or something. Yes. The pitcher, he says. Matthew also says, so when the Giants got Haniger, I thought that might be to appease Judge, especially because he's from the Bay Area too and all that shit. They also, the Giants did set up two, offseason goals. One of them was to get Haniger. The other one was to get Judge. So that, as Matthew says, that made me pretty nervous. But then I thought, well, they might know Judge isn't coming and they're making other deals now. Matthew was in a whirlwind of emotions last night, dude.
Tony, you know what to say to me. Ask Sam and her whole family. I was talking about them last night.
Oh, the poor family, dude.
And they were like, "Oh my God, like you're gonna be okay."
Yeah. And what did you say?
No, I said, well, it was a fake report, so hopefully things will work out. And like I said all along, a leverage play. And that's just how it's done. That's what it's all about. And that's what Aaron Judge deserves. So it's just, good riddance all around, Tony. Another former Yankee has found a destination. It wasn't on the team last year, but a couple years ago, Andrew Heaney, one of my personal favorites, 2-year deal, valued at $25 million, but can increase to $37 million with incentives. So we saw Heaney obviously spending some time on the injured list last year, but in 72 innings, showed some strikeout stuff, 13.6 batters per 9 innings, 3.10 ERA, 1.09 whip. So all solid numbers across the board. But it's like, is this a Haniger 39 home run season in your eyes, Tony? Over 72 innings. I mean, that's a third of a full season.
Right. I know. What was his injury? Do you remember?
Forearm or something.
Yeah, something weird.
I believe choker.
Matthew Gable also says first, Andrew Heaney sucks ass and says he's literally the worst pitcher I've ever seen. Choker says Brian is happy today. Judge is here to stay.
And Chokery always hitting it right on the head. And it's just a great day. It was funny too. He was telling me his neighbor in North Carolina was chirping him saying, "Oh, Judge is gonna be the Giants. Yeah. And I told him, go knock on his door today and tell him he's not going to the Giants. And guess what team his neighbor likes?
Who? Mets?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, there we go.
Those annoying Mets fans.
Sounds like I'll be staying at that house. You really should be chirping Chokery about the Hurricanes losing overtime last night, dude.
But Chokery, he has priorities here, and the priorities are the New York Yankees rebuilding the next dynasty.
Sounds like you should reprioritize.
This
reprioritize.
Oh, come on.
Three.
Come on.
Come on. What are you talking about? Oh, Andrew Heaney. Okay.
Yeah. But no,
I mean,
right? Or you
I
would you
don't
would you like it if the Mets signed for that deal?
honestly, to that deal, yeah. I think I would. I mean, I think he showed a lot of improvement going to the
Yeah.
Dodgers. He was like a totally different pitcher. I mean, when he was, to start off that season last year, his numbers were unbelievable. And then unfortunately, he does get injured, which again, I think we didn't see enough of Heaney. You mentioned he pitched a third of his season because of his injury and then come back, try to battle back. Dodgers, obviously, their offense is up and down. It's a weird spot for the team, I feel. So I think Heaney, I would give him another shot, especially with the way he looked with the Yankees and the way he looked with the Dodgers. I mean, there's a reason for why he looks so much better with the Dodgers, I think, and I would give him another shot, definitely.
Yeah. So kind of interesting. So obviously a lot of dominoes have fallen here. There are still some big names out there for sure.
Yeah.
Are you hearing movement in any other way?
For the Mets?
Yeah.
Not really, dude.
Yeah. But what about just generally speaking? We know Bogarts is out there. Correa's out there. It's like, where are these guys gonna go?
I know. I heard Correa. I thought I heard some Minnesota.
Back to Minnesota.
I think.
I'm just.
I wouldn't know why he would want to do that. I didn't know why he went there in the first place, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't really see that, but it is interesting. I just want to see too if NBC Sports Edge has anything.
Yeah, dude. Red Sox meet with Scott Boras. No progress on Xander Bogaerts.
Let's see.
Padres could turn attention to Bogaerts if they're missing out on Judge.
Yeah, I kind of think the Padres with Bogaerts. Yeah. We do have some news. The last place Boston Red Sox have signed Kenley Jansen, 2 years, $32 million deal. Horrible deal, Tony. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Career ERA with the Red Sox is going to be over 5. He's shot. I don't want to hear what he did in Atlanta last year. And you could say, oh, the playoffs may be okay. The Red Sox aren't going to the playoffs. So good luck with that one. The Mets are on the board. Can we do some breaking news?
What?
Jose Quintana is in agreement.
No
on
way.
A 2-year, $26 million deal with the Mets. Instant reaction, sir.
Honestly, I like it. I know. I feel like you don't like him that much.
No,
you don't like him at all.
Once again, you can start him in the postseason.
Possibly. Depending on how we do in the regular season.
No, I know. Come on. The problem is, you know what it is? Postseason, you need to have dominant stuff. Otherwise, you're gonna get hammered. Because I feel like the best hitters are hitting in the postseason.
Let's look at his numbers. Huh? How about that, dude? Postseason.
Has he even pitched in the postseason?
No, I don't think so.
Because he was with the White Sox.
Yeah.
Cardinals got him. I don't think he pitched for them this year.
West with St. Louis, really?
Yeah, they got him at the deadline.
Oh, it's right, dude. I mean, when you look at his numbers here, let's see. 12 games started. Went 3-2, ERA at 2.01. I mean, he went decent with St. Louis over 12 games, 20 games with Pittsburgh, 3.50 ERA there. San Francisco, yeah. I mean, his numbers really aren't that great, huh?
Yeah, I just think it's a risky proposition.
62 innings pitched with St. Louis here, 14 earned runs. Only one of them being a home run, though. Give it only one home run. 48 strikeouts over those innings. It's okay, I guess.
I feel like you're tight. Come on.
Average is like 7 strikeouts per 9 innings here. It's solid, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's okay.
You're disappointed. Would you have rather had Tyone?
At this point, probably, yeah.
How
old? Isn't he like 34 or something? How old is he? 1989, 33.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like What was the deal? Anyone? No, no details yet.
2 years, 26
2 years,
million.
26
I
million.
mean, obviously, it's not
it's
a
not
high
breaking the bank or anything.
value.
Yeah, 2 years, I guess. Bullpen guy, maybe we could use a bullpen guy.
Yeah. What do you think about Correa going to the Giants? That's what they're saying.
Correa to the Giants. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, you see, the Giants fall from grace between the past couple seasons. Has been pretty poor.
That was kind of I kind of like that effect. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, you like that, dude?
It's like what's coming out of the darkness?
What's Carlos Correa to the Giants? Yeah. Ooh, I think he'll be a good bat for them. Obviously, he's got a quick glove, quick hand. I mean, I think he'll be certainly a big improvement to the Giants. Better, I think, where he was in Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota's not going anywhere,
right?
Honestly,
right.
The Giants, I guess, could go more places.
Yeah.
Why you think Correa's kind of washed?
No, I don't think he's washed, but I do think that he came up obviously with Houston, played there a long time.
Right.
He needs to be in a competitive environment.
Yeah.
I think obviously he missed that last year in Minnesota, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But it's funny. I feel like all of these questions are going to be answered very quickly, and it was just a couple days ago we're saying nothing's happened. What's going on?
The winter meetings, man.
And here we are, and it's just money is just flying off the board.
Correa had a pretty solid season, honestly. 22 home runs,
just the injuries,
64 RBIs. Yeah, but even with that though, 291 batting average, still solid numbers with injuries when you think about it. I like it.
Yeah,
good for the Giants if they get him.
So we'll keep everybody posted. I guess they're just.
He play second base at all, or he only does shortstop?
Really shortstop. They're talking third. I mean, these type of infielders, especially short and third. I mean, if you could play short, you could play third.
Right.
It's just not the other way around.
Maybe the Mets can pick him up.
Yeah. No, they were talking about that on the Fan. I think that would be a good move. And they're saying they're expecting $300 million. You think he gets that?
No.
What is the contract? If he's going to do it long term, we saw him last year not be happy with what his market was. That's why he did, that 3-year deal with the opt out. What type of contract do you think he's going to get?
It was 3 years for how much?
$30 million a season, or $34 million a season, $35 million, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I guess I would give him 30 a year. I guess for 4 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. He's like 27, 28. He's pretty kind of youngish.
But he's gonna want 6, 7.
I know
he's
he
not
is.
Gonna want 4 or 5 because that just puts him in a terrible spot when he hits free agency again.
Yeah, I guess so, because he'll be like 32, 33, like free agency.
Yeah,
you don't want that. I don't know, dude. About 5 years for 25 a year.
25. What is this? 2005?
I'm just saying, do you want more years? You're gonna bump down the annual,
But I just thought I had some more news, but nothing on here.
No.
But there's just been a lot of buzz about Jose Quintana, not Jose Quintana.
Carlos Correa.
I'm all over the place, Tony. I apologize.
There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. I'm just trying to keep up with all of it. But
Carlos Correa.
Wilson Contreras received some offers. Nothing yet. But Cardinals, Astros, Tigers. There's some thought that the Astros are favorites, but 3-year deal, let's say.
Take a hike.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine he'd want like $20 million. He's
no way.
Not that good. He
really
is not. You know who he actually reminds me of? Like a better version of like Russell Martin.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, how good was he? You know what I mean?
It's
just the weakness of hitting at the catching position is why. But he's not even a good defensive catcher.
He's not.
That's too high.
So yeah, I don't know. What teams did you just say? Arizona?
No. All over the place again. Astros, Cardinals, and Tigers.
Astros? Really?
Well, because they had Vasquez, Maldonado can't hit a lick.
Yeah, I guess so.
So Maldonado could stay as a backup catcher. Could be interesting to see too if they add a pitcher, the Astros, after losing Verlander. You know?
Yeah, they would have to, right?
I mean, you have Valdez there, obviously.
Who was killing it.
Yeah. Well, who's the other guy? I don't know why I'm blanking on this.
Wait, said Frember Valdez. Lance McCullers?
No, but there's one other. Oh, man. This is going to bother me. I'm going to look this up.
Shit.
2022. I feel like it's going to be so obvious
once
when
we
I
hear.
see
I
it.
know, dude.
It's just crazy how you know things and then like sometimes you just freeze up.
Yeah, I know. It's so annoying, dude.
Christian Javier and then Luis Garcia.
Okay.
So they got some guys there, but the thing is, I mean, I guess you pivot to Valdez being your ace, but I still think, as far as the pitching is concerned, this kind of takes them down a notch. Losing Verlander, and but it's interesting. I don't quite get their approach. It's, I guess, what would you say? They're just very conservative with money because we saw them obviously, not want to pay Springer, not play Verlander, not pay Correa. They just believe in the system. I mean, and they're gonna only give money to guys that are in their mid-20s. Is that how you kind of read it?
I mean, do they have any prospects coming up?
Well, I mean, obviously Pena, they feel like is going to be a star.
Yeah,
Alvarez is young.
Right. But still, I mean, yeah, I guess. Oh, it's kind of weird. And when you think about it, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they spent so much more money in the past,
Yeah. Yeah. Very odd. And the GM's out. I don't think they've replaced him just yet. But definitely
maybe
interesting.
that's why.
But Tony, I have to say, is today not a great day? Just for the fact that
it's okay,
we're able to go over 40 minutes just talking baseball. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Most, anyway. We enjoy the other sports.
I would enjoy a big signing by the Mets.
But I thought, Verlander, we're winning the World Series, baby. What happened to that?
First of all, take it easy. Okay. No, I'm just saying, we're just in the same spot, basically.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kidding. I completely understand. I'm not kidding.
Oh.
Whatever, dude. What is it though? Do you think, is it more likely, that Cohen is being conservative or his hand is forced based on some back deal agreements when he became owner of the Mets? Or third part, sorry, I know I keep throwing stuff at you, that he doesn't want to create enemies amongst the other owners?
I honestly, I have no idea because it seems like he just talks so much big game about spending money.
Marte.
And again, like, going out there and getting Verlander quickly after DeGrom, like, that's great. But, like, how do you not, like, Jose Quintana? I mean, come on, like, I honestly have no idea what it would be. I would imagine it's someone else, I
want him, but they really got to sign Rodon if they're not going to get a bat. And they were talking about in the fan, I guess the big thought here is that they're counting on Alvarez to be like, a 30 home run guy next season.
I think it's a little hopeful.
Do you think he's going to make the team and be a starter from day one?
Yeah, I do think so. Because we're going to start McCann.
Well, McCann should be on the Rangers.
Yeah, honestly, dude. So I don't know.
Oh, and I guess let's call this breaking news, if you would.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we knew this was coming, but the New York Yankees, and this is an unofficial report, are making Aaron Judge the team captain. So obviously a move that we anticipated, but we're just waiting to hear some news on. I mean, just like re-signing him, making him captain. I mean, there's no other way to go after giving him the largest deal in franchise history.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. Obviously, is that like a clubhouse thing, or are they just assign like they?
Well, they haven't had a captain since Cheater.
Right, I understand, but is that like all the players decide?
No, organizational thing. And I'm actually just thinking about this. Larger contracts. Is it just Trout and
Anthony Rendon?
No.
For what?
No, just total dollars. I'm actually curious, like the top.
Oh, total dollars, like not annual.
Yeah.
It's an interesting.
Okay, so largest. No, that's longest. Oh man, Betts 365. Turner's 300. Tatis is 340 million. Mike Trout, $426 million. So I guess that's the highest. So, and what do you think about prefer saying to skip hockey, but the Mets need Correa and Rodon?
Skip hockey, no shot. And then yes, Correa and Rodon. I honestly would enjoy that. Again, putting Correa even at third or even at second base and throwing McNeil in the outfield. I think that would solve a little bit. He's played outfield before. I do enjoy him at second base though, but regardless, I mean, I think kind of interchangeable there. Bolstering your starting rotation, I think is incredibly important. Again, like we're in the same spot basically we were in last season. And we haven't actually even re-signed Bassett yet. So I mean, who knows what it's going to look like. If you bring in Rodon, you keep Bassett. I mean, you have 4 great starters right there. Not to mention, you are kind of banking on your 1 and 2 starters, obviously a lot, and they are, old as hell. So,
but that's why I feel like you can't give Bassett a 4-year deal. That's crazy.
I know.
You can't have pitching that old. I mean, at least Rodon's still 29.
But what happens if you lose Bassett?
Sign Rodon. And even if you can't, you gotta bring in some young pitching. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. You have to figure out a way. I mean,
you have McGill. If he stays healthy, I'm sure he'll be fine all season.
But see, but fine. You know what I mean? You need a guy that can be your third starter in the postseason. Right now,
nobody.
Ungats.
It could be McGill though. I mean, over the course of the season.
But I mean, if you just were giving your best guess at it, Tyler McGill, 30 starts this year. What's his ERA? Honestly,
2.89.
I mean, if you're getting that would be tremendous.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a lot.
You don't think so?
Lot to bank on him, honestly. I think that's going to be tough, and I don't think Quintana goes anywhere near the postseason. Now, if you could only have one, Correa or Rodon?
Oh God. Probably Rodon.
Yeah. But no concern offensively, though.
No, yeah, of course, concern offensively. But again, if the Mets think Alvarez will make a big impact, that would be huge in and of itself. If Lindor and Alonso and McNeil have a season anywhere close to what they had last season, I mean, I feel like we'll be consistently, putting up some good numbers in terms of scoring. Marte stays healthy. That'll help us a lot as well, too. We have a lot of good pieces right now in the lineup. We just need that little extra, like literally one person, like one bat extra. And if Alvarez is a chance of being that bat, I'd rather improve our pitching now.
Yeah. It is like, it's funny because I feel like you've experienced it more than me. But like going all in on a prospect, it's just so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like just something to build on. And you've had it. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to think. I mean, as far as offensively, I mean, Alonso, McNeil, obviously back in the day, David Wright.
Yeah.
But I guess it hasn't been Nimmo, but it's like
Nimmo is not.
I honestly almost think, I know it sounds crazy because he's $100 million. I think he's like a borderline starter. Honestly, like
really?
What does he do so good? That's what confuses me. Why is he valued so high? Nothing pops off the page with his statistics. Is he that good in the field?
He really is. I don't think
center
he plays.
Okay.
And it's something that he improved upon greatly in the past 2 seasons. I mean, his ball tracking abilities has improved. His defense was awesome. He made some great catches last season, even. And he looked like dog shit when he first was put out in the outfield. Not to mention, he's a hustle player. He's got a great attitude. I know his numbers don't bless you. Bounce off the page at you, but it's nothing to be like, it's not like he sucks. I mean,
Right.
But $100 million?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just because I think, Tony, though, me and you look at things so similar. Simmer. How do you say it? Simmerly. How do I say it properly?
You just had it.
Simmerly. I don't know why it sounds weird.
It
we
does.
have a similar mindset. That's easier.
Yeah, you say that. Similar.
But it's like you either have it or you don't. I just feel like there's just no in between, and it's like I just feel like with these mid-level guys, it's like give me anybody in the farm over them making $500,000.
I know, this year. And it just sucks because I feel like the market is just so competitive right now.
Yeah.
That these players are just getting so much money because there's so many teams out there desperate for these players. So I don't know, dude. I guess we'll kind of see what happens. But I mean, I mean, in terms of an outfielder in the minors,
What farm system?
exactly. Like,
Did it all just go away with Lindor? Is that what happened?
no, I mean we have a few. We have that guy Mauricio. Obviously,
Ronnie, where are you?
yeah, but he's not
He's not
an
ready.
outfielder.
He's not an outfielder.
You could try him at outfield. I think he plays third base. So so does Brett Batty too. And he's not ready. So it's like, who knows? I mean, maybe throw these guys at third base in the minors and then try and bring them up and see. But I mean, other than that, dude, I mean, it's all in Alvarez, I guess. So
yeah, time will tell. If we just had no kind of time restraints, how long do you think we could keep going? Just baseball? Another hour?
I would say another hour, probably. Yeah.
Just all the possibilities. Nothing like team building, roster.
I was just gonna say, like, lineups right now, dude.
Yeah. Oh man, I cannot wait for baseball. Let's think about it. So we're December 7th today.
It is today. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, spring training is 2.5 months away from games, and probably a little more than 2 months away from pitchers reporting.
Yeah.
So it'll kind of go by quick with Christmas and everything. But one thing that didn't go by quick is this segment. But let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot.
Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan Stahl. Oh my goodness.
That's the gun right back. Terrified and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliance from Igor Shesterkin.
It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
What a surprise. Artemi Panarin has joined.
Oh my
Michael.
God, dude.
I
God.
never thought I would see the day.
The long hair and everything
Michael
looked just like him.
the Brodeur jersey.
Wow.
Putting on the
dude.
Rangers jersey. Let's go.
Crazy.
He's pumped about Judge. He's pumped for the Wolfpack game
Hello,
tonight.
Michael. Hello. Yes, good to see you, Michael.
Tony, have you ever been to a Wolfpack game?
No, never have. I've seen them play though at Webster Bank where they played the Sound Tigers back.
I hope. Have you done some homework on prospects, best players? Or you're still kind of
no, not really. I thought when we were together, you and I would.
All right, fair enough. In that video, I know I say it every. Oh wow. I know I say it every time, but
overtime?
Once again, especially not overtime. The save by Shesterkin. After the nice win the other night, like, can we please just go forward? It just makes some progress here. I mean, the Devils are just winning every night, and I just feel like we're just got our heads stuck in the water.
Well, that easy schedule so far, dude. No, yeah, not really, but
it's insane though, and we are in such a tough spot tonight in Las Vegas against the Knights. They've been arguably the best team in the Western Conference this year. How are you feeling going into tonight? Based on the way things have been going lately. Obviously, last game was great.
Right.
Some struggles before that. I mean, where's your head at right now going into this game?
I mean, I feel pretty good, honestly, going into this game. I think, when you look at the Golden Knights, I mean, they've dropped a few games. I know they're 19-7-1. They have a great record. But they've dropped a few games this year where you're kind of like, oh, like that kind of surprises me. Like they lost to Vancouver 5-1 about like 2 weeks ago, and then they lost to Pittsburgh, skimming by Columbus, winning in a shootout here. So, there are some games where Vegas kind of, I guess, played down to some teams' levels. And then, of course, the Rangers, the big win against St. Louis, at home in the Garden. Almost, like winning the fan base back, honestly, this season at this point. We didn't really see that type of energy, that type of spark in the team. I guess you could say since opening day when we beat Tampa Bay. When we broke down that game, the one thing that I really took away was just the fact that they were getting pucks on the net and winning battles down low. And again, it seemed like they were playing like a team, with some haste, which is exactly what they need now. We talked about their next 5-game stretch here. Gallant's in the hot seat. A lot of the players are on the hot seat here. Whether leadership, captainship, the young players, everyone is really, especially now being looked at under the microscope, because this isn't a season at all that you kind of would have thought the Rangers would be having at this point. So, but like I said, I feel really good. They did something that they haven't really done all season long against St. Louis. And I know St. Louis, not that, they're not the Knights, but they have a lot of talent, and the Rangers went out there and they played the game they should have played. And I think, honestly, a lot of it is summed up by Kreider's last goal. That shorthanded breakaway goal. The expression on his face after that goal, I mean, it was ferocious, Brian. And I think that's what we're going to come out here tonight with. It's no getting stuck at the blackjack table in Vegas. I think they're here to do some business. They have a very big road trip ahead of themselves, and I do feel pretty good about it. No.
Hello, Tony.
You got it. Yeah.
Who's the dude you tagged me and that was almost crying post game on Twitter?
Oh, that was Jacob Trouba. That was the captain. Yeah.
No, captain should cry. You ever think you ever going to see Aaron Judge cry?
No.
Exactly.
Stop it.
And Tony, I hate to say this, but a quality opponent on the road, body clock. I just don't see it tonight.
What if it's a trap game for them?
I just don't see it, though. I really don't. And I want to see it, but I think it's more likely, instead of a 3-2 win in overtime of the Rangers, I think it's more likely 4-1 Knights. I hate to say that.
Let's back up here, okay? Okay, because you're going to knock on Trouba for being emotional at a post-game interview.
You're a hockey player. You shouldn't cry.
That's absolutely – first of all, he did not cry. He was holding back – It was he was definitely holding it back.
Thing? Is that not the same thing, Michael?
It's right there.
Almost, but regardless,
unless you're Michael Jordan, you can't cry.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous. You're looking at a team that has an incredible amount of history, obviously in the league.
He's
a great
passionate.
fan base. He's passionate. He's not Aaron Judge. He's not playing for probably the biggest asshole fan base in all of sports.
But that's
he's playing for a great fan base.
That's just not true.
And Jacob Trouba was chosen as the captain. I mean, you have people like Brian who are like, well, is he the captain? Obviously a lot of doubters, a lot of naysayers.
But Tony, I just feel like though it's like why?
But that's ridiculous. There's no.
Why should fans like me though be criticized for having high expectations and expecting great things out of their team? Why do we have to accept mediocrity?
No, I'm not saying you have to, but to bash the guy for becoming emotional over the whole situation. I mean, it's obviously
score some goals, win some games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see your tears. I don't care. Well, I'm sorry.
I mean, that's your problem, I guess. I mean, the fact is the man's being emotional. Obviously, it was a really tough loss against Chicago. I think
Chicago. How are we going to beat the Knights if we can't beat Chicago?
Relax, bud. Pump the brakes. Honestly.
It's so funny though, because I just feel like if somebody just watched the last 2 minutes, they would think I hate the Rangers. No, but I want to be pumped up. This is frustration building up, Tony. I don't want to be here tomorrow and be like, yep, 7-1 Golden Knights over the Rangers. You know what I mean? And I'm worried that we're gonna get something ridiculous. In all seriousness, if it is 7-1, do they just make the move right now
to fire Gallant?
Yeah.
He said after the break, right?
After the next 5 games is what I was
So no matter how bad it gets, even if it's 10-1 tonight, you don't think they do it?
No. I mean, I still don't think so. Because 10-1, again, it's not like, I know you like to hold, Gallant accountable, and like he is accountable for certain things, but I mean, he at this point in the season, he is changing line combinations. He is doing things different. And I just don't, I honestly cannot see Vegas just steamrolling the Rangers tonight. I really just don't see it at all. Maybe, again, my biggest concern is Shesterkin, honestly, at this point, which is kind of a good thing because I think he's going to step up. He's not someone who's facing, breaking goalie records last season and they're going to have a shit season this year. I think Shesterkin was rattled, a combination of a few things. I would imagine also, not having Georgiev, I think behind him, I think plays a factor. When you look at how Halak has played, that puts more pressure on Shesterkin, even for games when he's not starting, So, I mean, I think he's going to step up too. And I feel really positive. And there's a lot of great takeaways from the win against St. Louis. And I understand, the Rangers are very much aware of the gravity of these next few games, how hard it's going to be. It's a road trip. These are teams you're going to be playing in the playoffs late down the stretch of the season, who are all going to be competing for playoff spots and positions, whether it be for the first seed or for the wild card. They're all going to be competing for them. So these are teams you're going to have to, sooner rather than later, learn how to beat in big spots. So again, Rangers rose to the occasion in a big way against St. Louis. They came together as a team. I think they learned a lot. I think it was a real big statement game, honestly, for them. And it was the perfect way to start this road trip here, this next 5-game stretch, So I feel really good.
Let's do it.
Come on.
And what would be your level of angriness if you check Daily Face-Off 9:30?
Oh, stop it.
No, but really though. Would you even watch the game?
Oh, yeah, probably.
How ridiculous would that be?
That would be like, let's fire Glenn right now. That would be like a fireable offense.
Yeah, but we've seen them pull this stuff before. I'm just saying.
But not against the Knights. I'm sorry.
Colorado looming on
though,
Friday.
Dude.
Get Shesterkin, a little more rest.
No, this is
the rigors of a season.
No, this has got to be Shesterkin's in full swing. He's starting every one of these games.
All right. Fair enough. So yeah, let's make some picks, and also just wanted to update everybody. We're getting very tight in this pick'em race.
Oh boy,
I have a 2-point lead. I feel like I was up by like 7-8 at one point. So it's 28-26. And just looking at what we got tonight, I believe we have a good amount of games, if I'm not mistaken.
7 games, I think.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 3 apiece. You may start, sir.
Okay.
Money where your mouth is.
I know, right? I kind of have to pick the Rangers at this point. Yeah, give me the Rangers, dude.
Give me the blueprint.
I'm gonna give you the blueprint real quick. It's gonna be early and often, I like to say here with the Rangers. But I think where it's gonna start a little hesitation, I think, by the Rangers, but it's gonna start with Shesterkin on the defensive end here. You always see it here in hockey. Big saves lead to 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s on the other end, and big goals. I think you're going to see that here. I think it's going to start early in the first period, maybe 3 minutes in. Shesterkin makes a phenomenal pad save. Maybe K'Andre Miller is right there, scoop it up, passes up the ice to Zibanejad, finds Panarin in the slot. A nice 2-on-1 there. Easy goal for them. The bread man, okay, leading by example there. They're up 1-0. Defense locks down Vegas. Adam Fox has kind of played defense a little bit hairy, but he makes up for it on the offensive side. Jacob Trouba has done better defensively. K'Andre Miller's been doing really well. Schneider's been doing great. I think they're lockdown D, honestly, for the first period. Maybe Fox with a nice power play goal from the point. They're up 2-0 after the first period. Give up a goal maybe in the second, but it's third period. Lafreniere making it 3-1. Shesterkin, a nice maybe like 38 save night off of 39 shots. Rangers win this one 3-1.
All right. So I'm gonna go with I'm this is crazy, but I'm just gonna do it. Give me the Coyotes.
Wow.
Over the Oilers. Edmonton -292. So your pick, if you're looking to make a bet tonight, play it a little safe.
Oh man.
Coyotes +1.5. I think that's an easy cover. Vejmelka, has been playing out of his mind as usual. Team success not always there, but the Oilers are only 2 games over 500. Let's not act like this is Patrick Waugh's Colorado Avalanche over here. And you look at the Coyotes, they're on a 5-game losing streak, and they've actually lost 9 out of 10. The only victory over the Hurricanes, and we talk about law of averages all the time. And I really just hope that I know there's a lot of uncertainty about, the future of this team, but did they really just start giving Vizmelka more help? Because I really think that they could really go a long way. We've seen him improve across the board this year. And a big part, obviously, some of it has been with him in net. But if you look at it from a win-loss perspective, they're 6-7-3 with Vizmelka, but they're 1-5-1 with Connor Ingram. So obviously, they're counting on him every night, and I just feel like he could use some help on the defensive end. Offensively, they have one double-digit goal scorer in Lawson Kroos. Clayton Keller has had a solid season, 7 goals, 15 assists. But I think the key here is keep the Oilers off the board early. Just make it your goal to have at least one goal midway through the second period and kind of just figure it out from there. But I'm actually going to say 2-1 in overtime, Lawson Kroos for the win.
Wow. My next game, I think Brian knows who I'm going with.
Bruins.
I'm going to go with the Bruins tonight. They're going to be
business.
What?
Risky business.
I don't think so, because they're in Colorado.
Are they just going to win every game?
A few games ago, they beat the Avalanche 5-1, and since then, Colorado's point leader, Nathan McKinnon, with 34 points, is going to miss the next 3 months with a upper body injury.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What does that mean,
So-
upper body? Is it like a torn pec or something?
It could mean a lot of things. It's probably something wrong with his shoulder.
Okay.
They typically do that so that you don't know, honestly. They just
Oh.
say upper body or lower
Okay.
body injury in hockey. So that's a huge blow to Colorado. I mean, like I said, he leads the team in points.
Breaking news. According to Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic, the St. Louis Cardinals are closing in on a deal with Wilson Contreras. So they go from Yadi Molina for 20 years, hand over the keys to Wilson Contreras. Arenado opted into his deal. They have the MVP in Paul Goldschmidt. Good times ahead for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess
Prefer a little late to the party on
Prefer
Quintana.
a little late on Quintana. We talked about it. It's
Try
okay,
to tell
bud.
me that his ERA is going to be under 4.5. Please tell me. Please enlighten me.
Under
on that
4.
one.
I think 4.5 is a good bet for under.
5.21.
No way,
designated
dude.
for assignment midway through year 2.
All right. So anyway, the Colorado Avalanche missing their.
Are they screwed?
No, they're not necessarily screwed. I think they're going to be screwed tonight against the Bruins. I mean, they do have, they have, Georgiev, who's been playing out of his mind, to lean on in between the pipes. They have other players like Rantanen, who's actually day-to-day right now, but he'll probably play. Lehkonen as well. Of course, Cale Makar on the defense. But, I mean, Nate McKinnon, he's their center. He's like their leader. Most of his points come from assists. He moves the puck phenomenally from left to right on the ice. Great skater, decent body, great vision. Certainly their best player, I think, right now. So I think against the Bruins here, by the way, I don't think him being out for 3 months was reported a couple hours ago, because the Bruins are only minus 178 here on the line here. And I would take that easily here. I think Bruins take this one. I'll give Georgiev the benefit of the doubt. I'll say, honestly, 3-0 Ullmark, second shutout of the season.
Wow. Yeah, Ullmark has been playing out of his mind.
Unbelievable.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Sharks. Vancouver is the road favorites here, but they are in San Jose. And obviously, it's been a tough season up to this point. But my basis for this is, a lot of games too, they've been competitive early, having leads, blowing them late. I just think when you're playing a team like Vancouver, that has to do wonders for the Sharks' confidence, just in terms of we can beat them. And I have noticed too, they've been on a little bit of a slide here. If you look at it, they have only won 2 of their previous 8 games, or 2 of their previous 10, actually. But this slide started when Karlsson stopped scoring. So I think he's going to resume tonight. 2 goals and an assist, 3-2, the Sharks over the Canucks.
All right. My next pick, my
Also your last
pick here. I'm gonna go out on a little bit of a limb here, take another dog. Give me Columbus here at home against Buffalo. We've seen a lot of, I think, iffy games from Buffalo. I understand Columbus is 8-14-2. Not at all where they expected to be. I'm sure with Johnny Gaudreau only having 27 points in the season, by the way. But I have a feeling he had a decent game last game. I believe it was against Pittsburgh, honestly. He skated well. I think had a goal, but I think he goes off, honestly, for Columbus. I think you're going to see a nice, 10-game point streak for him because he really is a super talented player. You saw what he did in Calgary last season. There's no way he's going to have a dog shit season. I understand he's in Columbus. It's not a competitive environment. They're not going to be a very competitive team. It was a big surprise when he went there, but I think, honestly, at this point, he's going to start showing some value around the league, and I think against Buffalo is a good time. So give me, honestly, Johnny Gaudreau, a hat trick, maybe 2 assists even on top of that. Columbus wins this one 5-3.
Wow.
As we have a comment, by the way, from Ricky B. Says juice balls, story drops, and Judge instantly signs.
Thank you for joining us, Ricky B. Not sure about juice balls.
Juiced balls? Was there juice balls? Was there a story about
I didn't see anything.
No?
But something else interesting too. My friend just texted me. Apparently, the offer from San Diego was 10 years, $400 million for Judge. Opposite say with the Yankees. You think about taxes and just the point that that's just where he wanted to be. So I think that further cements.
You think that the captainship was in his contract, or they told him, "Hey, you come here, we'll make you captain"?
Think that I don't even think he had to fight for that. I think that's what they.
No, but I think that they said that to him.
Yeah. I think
you're gonna be the captain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So just thought that was interesting. Last pick of the night here. Really kind of tough with both of these games, but
I'm
gonna just take the Capitals. The Flyers, I don't know. Is Torts gonna get fired again?
He might.
I think the Capitals are due for some positive uptick here. Not to say they're gonna finish first in the conference, but I think they could finish 5th, 4th.
Yeah.
So give me the Capitals here. I think they embarrass the Flyers. Tortorella might punch a cameraman.
Oh my God.
Ovechkin the hat trick. Let's say 6-1. The Capitals over the Flyers.
Love it.
It's funny. It's so tough because I've been trying to catch up on my sleep after the trip, but I really like the timing tonight where we're going to be at the Wolfpack game. Time to get back. I mean, it should be right around when the Rangers start.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
or take. Maybe definitely a little later, but I gotta watch some of that game anyway. Go to bed by call it 11:30.
Sounds perfect, Brian.
So hopefully it's a good start, Tony. Hopefully it is a good start, but you're personally guaranteeing it. So I'm going to hold you accountable.
Let's go
tomorrow if we see anything other than a victory.
I will also guarantee a Wolfpack win tonight. How about that?
Do we have a record for the Wolfpack? Do we know
let's look him up. How about that? Wolfpack. That's right. Regular season here. Do we have oh my goodness. The AHL, is there a standings?
Yeah, up top. Red.
Standings, bang, league standings. Providence Bruins, Atlantic Division.
5-9.
Providence Bruins, Hartford Wolfpack, 5-9. They're last in their division.
Oh, shootout. They do shootout losses and overtime losses.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But I don't know. AHL, anything can happen. Lehigh Valley is around 500. So we talk about it all the time when we do our picks. I mean, it's like you're playing a 500 team. You're always going to have a shot. They're a 500 team for the reason.
Wow, Providence Bruins in first place in their division.
Yeah. I saw the merch when I was at the Providence game.
Oh, my God, dude.
Wait, go to the Wolfpack stats. I just want to see let's get somebody to be excited about who are watching, maybe future Ranger potentially.
Let's see. Where are we? I'm blowing this. Did I just
go back?
Yeah,
just
go back. This is ridiculous. Oh,
wow.
Here we go.
Okay.
For Wolfpack, you want to see player stats?
Yeah.
Bang. Ty Ronning here, right winger, shoots righty.
No. But I'm saying, not to interrupt, but I'm saying, do we have sortable team stats? Yeah, I think if you just click on them,
it'll take us to here.
Huh.
I know, right?
That's interesting.
Stats, player stats?
Yeah.
How about that?
But of course, they go by the league.
Not all
Yep.
teams.
There we
Hartford
go.
Wolfpack.
Yep.
Interesting. A new website for me, you know.
Okay.
Tim Gettinger over 16 games, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points. Oh, -6 on the ice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you give me a good tender? Change from skaters to goaltenders. I just want to see what we got in that. I have a feeling. I guess it would be under defenseman. I don't know.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
No? What the heck?
Oh, goalie. There we go.
Okay.
Louis Domingue, baby.
Oh my dude, I completely forgot.
Oh, it's right, dude. We're gonna see him start tonight. Hopefully, he fucking better start.
He's gonna start.
12 games played here.
See, not bad. See, backup tender. The problem, Garand, 1-5.
2.58 goals against on
9-12.
average. 3 overtime losses.
I am pumped to see Louis Domingue. We might have to get a Louis Domingue chant going if he has a bunch of saves.
Dude, you may have to get this jersey.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, totally forgot Louis Domingue, baby.
So definitely everyone out there, look out for us tonight. Hartford Wolfpack. First time going to a Hartford Wolfpack game. So definitely excited for that. Hopefully we can bring home a victory, and hopefully it's a prelude to a Rangers victory.
Yes, I hope so. I know so. Prefer says my Yankees prediction in 2024, Yankees will spend $70 million per year on 2 DHs, Stanton and Judge, most expensive DHs in MLB history.
I mean, if you want to say maybe like 2029, prefer, but it's just like not 2024. That's ridiculous. Judge is one of the best fielders in the league. But prefer likes to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, what a day. What a life.
Oh, yeah.
Really appreciate what a show. What a life. Everybody tuning in today and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. The merch, downtimetv.com, the archives, Tony, Michael, Renee, and costume. Woo! We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.